Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. I wanted to talk about the first Assassin's Creed game, because I really like it. I like Assassin's Creed series in general, but I really like Assassin's Creed, and very specifically, I really like Altair. Now, the series, or the very first game, is known to have a lot of problems, and I wanted to kind of address those. But I felt the need, since it's the 10th anniversary of this game, it came out in the spring of 2008, I wanted to kind of go over what it is I like about Assassin's Creed, the first game, specifically. And this trailer, with Altair doing his first assassination for us, I thought that really set the tone in a great way. I like the look of this guy. He's sort of this badass bounty hunter type in a medieval setting. I thought, wow, this is great, and I like what I'm seeing here. Unfortunately, when the game came out, it had a lot of detractors. The reviews were terrible. And I just thought, but how can that be? It looks so cool. So when I saw that box art and I saw Altair on the cover, I thought, man, this looks really cool. Now, I didn't have a PlayStation 3 at the time, and I thought to myself, man, if I did, that would be a game I would get, because I really like the look of this. There's something mysterious and cool and badass looking. I would get into this game, I think. And it's kind of funny. A relative of mine, whenever I was talking about the eventual PS3 that I was getting, I said in conversation, I was like, you know what? One of the first games I'm definitely getting, Assassin's Creed, because that thing looks awesome. And he just said to me, don't bother. It's awful. Do not waste your time. I'm like, but nope, you're completely, it's boring. And he's right. And I kind of feel like I should maybe address all of that here.
But do not think to rest upon your laurels. Your work has just begun.
I am yours to command, Master.
King Richard, emboldened by his victory at Acre, prepares to move south towards Jerusalem. Saladin is surely aware of this.
Case in point, you start off the game at Musyaf, which is kind of the headquarters of the assassins. And right off the bat, Altair loses all of his standing, all of his kick-assery. He's one of those sort of tropes of video games where all of your stuff you had at the beginning for the tutorial is now taken away and you gotta learn it all again. So that's something not a lot of people liked. And I don't know if you could hear it there, but the voice actor performing as Altair came across as very flat. So that's another point that a lot of people didn't like, and I see where they're at with that. But it looks so cool. Remember, this is my first PlayStation 3 experience, and when I saw these worlds and I saw these graphics, I just thought, this is incredible. And unfortunately, that was not going to last long as I played this game, because I started to discover some of that repetition we were on about.
Altair, it seems my students do not fully understand what it is to wield the blade. Perhaps you could show them what you know.
Yeah, get used to hearing that phrase, because every time Altair would come out of his briefing with his master, there would be some new skill to learn, some new trick, and it was very much, oh, please, Altair, please come and teach my men. And it was always the same phrasing every time. It really got kind of repetitive very quickly.
The work of a master.
And the other repetitive thing is out of the opening trailer there, the four kind of white-robed priests that Altair can hide in among. Yeah, that's actually used to an extensive degree in this game. It's kind of the main way to get into any city. There's 3 different ones you infiltrate. You can climb up scaffolding and stuff. It's a bit of a pain, but this is the way you do it here. You kind of walk with these guys past the guards and you're into the city, and you do that in each chapter of the game. It's another sign of like the repetitive nature of the first Assassin's Creed. However, I don't really dock it any points for that. I think, we're kind of learning how this game is going to start working. And look at this open world with all of these people. It's really an amazing achievement. And I honestly think the first Assassin's Creed game looks better, especially on PS3, than the second Assassin's Creed game. I don't know. I was always really, really impressed at not only the open world, but just the clarity of the images, the details on Altair himself. It's a great looking game. I don't know why people seem to prefer the second one, to be perfectly honest. And just who is Altair anyway? Well, his name is kind of unusual, and yes, this is a new posable figurine that I totally want. Anyway, his name is actually Altair ibn-la'ahad, which, from what I understand, actually means son of none, which speaks to his actual tragedy of his family. He lost his parents. And the Altair, now what's interesting, the name means bird or flying one, and I've always seen it spelt with a single I, which I thought was strange. I thought, wouldn't it be Altair? But maybe that unusual double dot over the I indicates it's pronounced as if it was two I's. So it's Altair. Now, the one thing that I really, really like about the first Assassin's Creed game, and the thing that I love about Altair, is he's a tough guy, badass in his performance. And I actually did a video a while back when Assassin's Creed Syndicate was announced, asking, since when have all these assassins become cheery, happy-go-lucky types? I mean, the kind of initial flavor of that trailer that I showed you at the beginning of this video was these are tough guy, pseudo bounty hunter types, and they're not friendly, your friendly neighborhood assassin, which the game series seemed to turn into. Altair was, at least for me, the beginning of an Assassin's Creed series that we didn't end up getting, unfortunately. Now, as you can see, it's not that the game didn't go for its blood and gore. I mean, it did show its assassin-y teeth. But I was kind of wishing more of the series would land like this. I mean, they're all very violent, as you can see here. But the tone seemed to change. And I think that was Assassin's Creed 2. I think when Ezio showed up on the scene, they decided to go with a lighter, more Lothario romantic type of character, and they lost this mean tough guy assassin with Altair. Now, when they were designing Assassin's Creed 3, which had Connor, the Native American, as our main assassin character, there were apparently ideas for him to go full bore into like scalping his victims and things. And an idea they had for a weapon was where he would sling up revolutionary soldier enemies with this chain thing. They then ended up deciding to tone all of that down, get rid of the scalping, and turn that chain weapon into something more apparently historically accurate of the rope dart. This was something that would get corrected years later when the Assassin's Creed movie came out with Michael Fassbender as Aguilar. Really liked his performance, really liked that character. The film did fall flat in many places, but I liked it. I think I have a soft spot for the first Assassin's Creed game because I was in the middle of something on a personal level at the time I was playing this, and it kind of gave me a nice outlet, resonating channel for my depression I was going through. I had a falling out with a relative that was fairly major, and I just felt like, okay, I don't understand the world, and the world doesn't understand me, and I'm just going to sit in a huff and not... I'm just going to play video games. I'm going to play Assassin's Creed. Yeah, there were long stretches where I would just sit there in the game And I think the animation's kind of cute because Altair kind of looks a little depressed or down, or I know he's eavesdropping, he's on a mission. But there's just something kind of that resonates to me, or resonated with me at the time, of he's sitting there, his life is not going very well, and I felt the same way sitting on my couch playing the game. I was sitting there probably in a very similar hunched pose of, oh, God sucks, this all sucks. So, yeah, anytime I would think about this game, and I would think about Altair just sitting there, I thought, yeah, man, I know where you're coming from. And I gotta ask, I think this is something a lot of people, a lot of gamers can get and resonate with. Is there a game? What was the game for you if you were ever going through a really bad patch that you kind of lost yourself in because it was a nice distraction? And maybe, like myself with Altair, did you ever kind of get this feeling of like bonding with the character and say, yeah, man, I totally know how you feel. This is a crummy world. And like, you know, with Altair, he's got no family. He's an assassin. He's in this sort of bad world. And I was going through something that made me feel similar. So I think maybe that's why this particular game and this particular character is so potent and powerful for me. I know most people much prefer Ezio and all the other games that came later, and I like them. But for me, this is the game that really meant the most. And given it's the 10th anniversary, I had to talk about it. I had to bring it up. So happy 10th anniversary to the Assassin's Creed series, and happy 10 years old to Altair, my favorite to this day of the Assassins. I think the series has gone in directions that I have not liked. I never played 2 or Brotherhood or any of those ones with Ezio other than Revelations, which was alright. Didn't have enough Altair. I could go into more about Altair, but this video is getting long enough already, and I kind of wanted to make my main point, and that is that I enjoyed the first game more so than probably most people. I don't know that the series is really going in a direction today that I'm on board. I didn't really have much interest in Assassin's Creed Origins, but and now the new one in Greece where you've got all this story arc stuff. I don't know that this is really the series that I like anymore, but I have been surprised, loved Syndicate, so anything is possible. But I will always look back fondly at the first game because of the time, and it's probably still my favorite of the bunch. Surprising, really. And ironic, given that a friend of my relative was saying, yeah, don't even bother with that game. How much does he know? Anyway, until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.